Jeez Louise.
Jeez freaking Louise, guys.
That should be a sitcom about Louise. She's Louise.
She's Louise, our cat.
And every time she does something crazy or freaky, they're like, she's Louise.
She's Louise. Whenever she commits mass murder, they're like, she's Louise.
Well, wasn't that why you got her?
Yeah. The day after I got her, she killed 2 mice.
Yeah. That's a great cat right there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Really dancing for her dinner.
Have you seen that video of the guy that's like, that's a great cat right there?
No. Is it me?
It's cute. It's like a guy petting a cat. He's like, look, he's not scared at all.
Just like an average Joe.
Yeah.
Recognizing the greatness of a cat.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't aware there was a...
Hello. Not sure if there's anybody here yet, but welcome. No Thingus to the past this week, but instead, you get to hang out with me. Hi. I'm not going to be doing too much here. I'm just going to be watching Thingus and commenting while playing a game called Knytt. Knytt. Gonna have a bit of a lazy Thingus because no Meredith, not much in the way of like conversation. But what I'd like to do, if possible, is if like something reminds me of something that I'd like to add to an old conversation. I think that's fun. So here, for one thing, how about I find that video that I was just discussing. We'll watch that.
It
takes a pet like no problem.
A pet like no problem. Yeah. Right? Not afraid at all. That's a great cat right there. It takes a pet like no problem. Yeah. Right? Not afraid at all. It takes a pet like no problem.
So cute.
Right?
Look at that face. He takes a pet like no problem. Like nobody's business.
Right? Not afraid.
Adorable. Not afraid at all.
It takes a pet like no problem. Yeah. Right? Not afraid at all.
Cute. Anyway.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thingus. Sorry for the
Welcome to rerun.
Today.
Or I'll just play with the keyboard.
Troubles, which I'm sure will be fascinating for you, so let me regale you with stories of how my laptop is old.
Yeah, I was having tech troubles all day because I told you that I was trying to get some games on a USB stick, and I was like, maybe I'll be able to put some on this big one if I can figure out how to back it up. And then, like, an hour later, I was like, this is hell. I'm giving up. I was trying to back up my Wii U data, and there's no way to do it. Like, there's no tool, and the hackers haven't even made something that lets you back up.
There's no cloud solution.
Well, you have to use the Wii U, and mine's out of commission because the gamepad doesn't work.
Well, yeah.
The game is taking pity on me. Look at, give me the guides again.
If I'm, yeah, I know. They were like, aww.
It's so little. Yeah, it's really like, it's only right to play it at its proper actual resolution, right?
Well,
windowed mode.
How are we looking tonight? I mean, I know how we're looking. How are we sounding? Good. Lots of mic trouble, but.
You posted the picture, right?
I posted. No, I didn't post the picture.
You should position your camera over Meredith so it looks like you're streaming with yourself.
We do have a thumbnail. It exists. Yeah, we just barely made it tonight. But we're here for you. We're here for Thingus. I was just about to say, what have our viewers done for us lately?
Me.
Besides watched.
Me.
Besides faithfully tune in and watch us resolve extremely boring old tech problems on live internet TV.
Big me and little me.
The broadcaster, Joe.
I had it rotated. I hit the wrong button.
Oh my god.
Did you ever think you'd be a broadcaster?
Move the
Joe?
entire thing over. But wait.
A broadcaster? I don't know. I guess not.
Put Knytt a little bit closer to the center so you can see it.
I've always been doing videos and shitty posts online, but recently I feel like the best way to be is just...
There's enough me's. Maybe I'll have this me here. So there could be 3 me's. There's not enough me's.
Kill me. Do
Yeah.
it. That's how
Oh wait, let me rewind that because that was funny.
It's like in front of a microphone where nobody can get you.
Nobody can get you because
They can't get you. They can't. Oh crap! The great cat right there video. Wait. Sorry, this is messy. What was he gonna say? No one can get you.
It's like, come and kill me.
Yeah.
That's how freeing it is to be a broadcaster instead of a poster. Come and kill me. Like on Twitter they actually will, but here it's like no one cares. Nobody pretends to.
Okay, that's fortunate. I can't use my play button to pause and unpause that easily. But anyway.
on Twitch. It's true. No, it's what I needed. It's really what I needed. You ever feel like, you know, like I feel like, you know, during the pandemic, we all had this sense that like, look, I know the pandemic's not over yet. Let's just pretend. Let's just all agree that the absolute worst part, where we didn't know if we'd die from it, is over. No, we can't agree on that. Come and kill me then. Like, you know, during the pandemic, when we were all in lockdown.
Yes, to say we're not going to die
Like
prompts people to come and kill me.
we're going to emerge from this different, but we don't know how. Well, personally, I became a streamer. I think when I entered the pandemic, I would be categorized as one of those highly self-conscious posters.
Yeah, I mean, look at Meredith's icon.
People being mad at me.
It looks like she's afraid of people
Extent,
being mad.
you know, there is
That's it.
I still hear.
People are still mad.
I still hear them. They're still mad, but
You have a button that turns the music off.
and I can turn them off too. No, I'm still, you know, I'm still flinching. We're all a little scarred by those years.
But like the pandemic showed us that social media is just too disgusting. It's just too toxic and terrible, right? Like
Well, it's just like, I think it's just that like I realized that people's negative feelings didn't come from like an actual. I mean, it stems from like an actual sense of like morality and injustice and a civic obligation to fight that, but that wasn't the reason they were mad today. The reason they were mad today is they were on a platform. They were addicted to a platform that every day when they logged in was encouraging them to be that way so that it can continue to exist. The second they're not like that anymore, the platform can't exist anymore. And
So yeah, like, this sounds familiar. We've been having this conversation a lot over the years, or I guess over the last year, And like right now, what just happened with Blue Sky is they passed 15 million what do you call it? 15 million users. And it's because people are breaking their addictions. I feel like people had to all move at once. They all had to migrate in like a big group of ducks in order for another site to like be an adequate replacement. And I kept thinking it sounds easier than it is. And here we are, where pretty much everyone that I wanted to see on Twitter has made a Blue Sky account with the exact same icon they had on Twitter and is acting as if it's 2014 and nothing happened, which, I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing.
True to form, when I left, every time I've returned, it looks more like that than it used to. And by return, I don't mean I'm one of those people who's promising to leave forever and keeps coming back every few minutes. When I go there literally twice a week or once a week to make a post about something else to try and drive traffic from Twitter to another place, I notice that people are still mad, but in a more artificial seeming way than last time.
Yeah.
Like in a more of a, they got the daily brief about what to be mad about, and they're following it exactly as they should.
And that's not the situation on Blue Sky.
That, if I don't know a person and they're mad at me, then I don't really take that to heart. And if I know a person and they're mad about me, about, things on social media, I just
like, I see those posts, but they're not everywhere. They're not overwhelming. You're not governed by other people's emotions the way you are on Twitter.
Chalk that up to like my friends.
Can't hear the rerun.
Look, this is all just in my head, by the way. None of my friends are mad at me, as far as I know. As far as I know.
But they are.
No one's mad at.
In my head they are, but I've decided, for my own sanity, that if any of my friends are mad at me, they will either tell me, or I will have to assume that they are unfortunately addicted to a negative feeling and are currently pointing it in my direction.
Oh, come on, I killed it.
Yeah, you killed it.
I should have gotten a live.
Well, now you get a, aw, he sucks.
Oh, no, it's pitying me.
This one's beautiful, by the way. Like the colors.
Yeah. Yeah, someone put this together by hand.
It's lovely.
Oh, it's so easy now.
So freaking easy. They should let you use that for every level.
You could do that with Game Genie. It's so freaking sweet.
What did I say before in Peter's voice? I'm at one of Diddy's freak-offs. So freaking sweet.
But yeah, the thumbnail, which nobody saw.
Sorry, Joe.
What?
And sorry, all of you.
It had a reference to Hong Kong 97 on it.
Right.
No, I don't.
Another fun reference I can explain, making it even funnier. Okay, so Hong Kong 97, that's one I can find a video of because I don't think I'm going to be playing that one. No commentary, just the game. The only English is English and the developer, Happy Soft. I love these things that Meredith has to know about these terrible games that are just simply part of video game history. That anyone making a game could possibly benefit from knowing about these you know, off or oddball or what the fuck don't even really describe this. I'll let it speak for itself. The year 1997 has arrived. A herd of fucking ugly reds are rushing from the mainland. Crime rates skyrocketed. Hong Kong is ruined. Therefore, the Hong Kong government called Bruce Lee's relative Chin. For the massacre of the Reds, period. Basically, this game was made by some guy who just wanted to, like, push some sort of political agenda, saying that he doesn't like the leader of Hong Kong, and doing a bunch of, like, copyright infringing things to make his game, which is completely illegitimate. I'm not even sure how many copies existed, but it's a terrible Super Nintendo political propaganda video that even shows a picture of a dead body, which I forgot all about. So sorry, Meredith.
It's like what I think is probably the most bootleg game ever made. It's like we should play it. Maybe we have it actually.
So by most bootleg, you mean that the people who bootlegged it are the least self-conscious about it?
Maybe, yeah. Like it's a really unfinished game. It's like a really shitty game. It's like a parody of something.
I couldn't even remember what
It's a parody?
like how to describe it.
That's funny.
Just funny when they do a parody and it looks the same.
It wasn't even a parody. It says Bruce Lee's cousin or something. It's just a picture of Bruce Lee.
What, you didn't get the reference? Oh man, we gotta watch Cool Hand Luke. You didn't get you gotta see the person. It's exactly the same as in the parody.
For those of you who don't habitually watch A Thingus to the Past, it's a pretty funny running joke, Cool Hand Luke, where I do a character that tries to get you to watch it. Yeah, I feel like Meredith has Meredith seen Cool Hand Luke? I'm not even sure. There, there's also like, oh, you can see that pointer. Maybe I'll move it. There's also like the kind of movie that you have seen, you've totally seen it, but like you kind of like don't remember anything from it. So like, what would you even call those? It's like a movie that you watched but didn't see. I watched it. I'm technically telling the truth. But did you see it? I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I saw right through it. So, there's movies you've seen, movies you haven't seen, and movies that you have to see again to say that you've really seen them. I think Cool Hand Luke might have been that for me. Have I seen it once or twice? I remember there was a movie Mind Game. Is an anime movie, and halfway through the movie I realized I'd seen it before, and like remembered a lot of it too, but forgot that I'd seen it for some reason.
It's exactly the same. Like that's a selling
good
point.
movie.
Yeah, it's the exact same
That I forgot about.
Like there was probably at some point where they did like the part. Yeah, they do a part that's like a parody of the like breakfast making machine from Pee-wee, and it's like
Man, that's so freaking funny.
It was so funny.
It's so epic.
It just like does the exact same thing.
It's so funny when they take a funny joke and the joke is that remember.
The joke is
also
their
much
joke.
better
Yeah, no. Making a
I
rude
agree with me. What are people saying? All three Joes laugh is like getting a 777 in a slot machine. I don't understand. It's supposed to be anti-communist. Seems like it, yeah. Some guy in Hong Kong who probably had a business that was being hurt by new regulations or some shit was like, man, don't you wish you could just send Bruce Lee to kill that guy?
Goldberg style machine in cartoon form is not as hard.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that's what Rube Goldberg was doing, but Tim Burton went to the trouble of making that fucking machine sequence for you.
Yeah, that was to sell.
Also,
the
he
movie,
thought of
so
it.
He didn't walk out and go into big.
Right. We were just talking about that tonight. Mike was talking about a time when his family went to the theater and the kids really wanted to. I didn't catch all the story. I'm piecing it together by what I know of his mother.
The big story.
The kids wanted to see Big, but
wait, don't tell me. They left the theater, went into Big, and were horrified.
It was rated PG, so she was worried.
Oh, right. That's it.
That it would have something inappropriate in it. And what was the movie they saw?
I mean, I feel like that's a critical part of the
Yeah.
story. I told the story.
I thought I
because
would
didn't know
remember
that.
the name of the movie as I began. Help.
This is just like before when I asked Mike for help with the audio.
We need him to
We
come up
need
and
him
tell
back.
the story.
Yeah, tell the story because Meredith botched it.
I botched it so
Botched
bad.
it.
Botched it. You fucking
Did
botched
botched it.
She
We did a botched bit.
You made a botched bit. Let's play something else.
Botched bitch. That's me.
Botched bitch.
Did that
Yeah.
just come out of you as you stood up?
What?
That clown laughter?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Wait,
Yeah,
did I actually not know what she was talking
that's
about?
me.
Did I not? Yes, I actually didn't know what she was talking about because I didn't realize I'd hit sound effects by accident.
We don't
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a botched bitch.
Fucked up. That's the one.
I'm botching things left and right.
Yeah, well,
I
you
don't
said you
know
were going to
which-
do a remote
if
show and
we
you
do
botched
have
that.
thing, I don't know which category it's under.
Okay.
It's not USA or Japan. It's like Chinese.
Oh. Right.
Oh, so I look for the game and I don't
These
find it.
categories.
Well, I mean, I'll check English because that's like
Is it in English?
It has English.
I think the title is in English.
Yeah,
Of
Joe,
the copies of PT.
Joe made a goofy clown noise. Sometimes during the stream, you just hear.
That's not a clown laugh, but maybe I should get one. I know the one, but I don't know how I can find it. I guess I could just
Wait,
record me
what does it
going
mean
like.
I am here?
Where the hell is H?
Wait, what's that from?
I'm like,
Maybe you're an
not-
Enterprise
Meredith,
or
help.
whatever.
What's it
Oh my
from?
God.
A funny? Oh, I know.
have it.
Here's a Thingus. Here's a Thingus for you. I'm sure I could find that shit, right? It's like it was like a talking, not the kind you spin. It was like the kind that you press the buttons. It was like a toy. I find that. Like a story toy where you have it narrate a story by rearranging elements. Ah, fuck, how do I find that again? I'm sure it's on eBay. Is it? Yeah.
All right, So
Here,
it
somebody
recently come to my
has it.
attention that there's a specific book in my library that I need to share with the general public. Oh, here we are. The See and Say Storymaker with some gross stuff on the front. I think it was a Save the Planet sticker. We were very green conscious children. I want you to know that this is the voice that pops into my head every time I hear a verb or an adjective of any type. It's got several rainbow columns. First with a noun, then a verb, then an adjective, and then a noun, and then another noun for a location. Person, place, and a thing. Now, over here, it's got coordinated buttons to the colors. So, as you press each one, you go down the list. Also, in the corner, they have surprises and playback. So, a surprise will just make up a sentence for you, as implied. And playback will repeat whatever.
Alright, come on. Let's go.
Saw, doesn't like,
I love that picture for doesn't like. He's so mad.
kissed,
Here we go, sound effects.
a funny, a scary, a goofy, a slimy, a barking, a fat.
Look at this guy in his Hawaiian getup, like. I don't even know.
Yeah, look at him surrendering to the cops. Hey, fat. I see you, man. What are you doing? You're not paying your tax. Get out of here, man. But yeah, a funny. Was that what Meredith just did an impression of?
Yeah, Joe made a goofy clown noise. We don't know. Sometimes during the stream, you just hear.
Yeah, that's the clown laugh I have. Also, this one.
What does he think I am, a waiter?
What the hell is H? I'm like
Maybe
not
you're an
even
enter
looking.
password again.
No,
Oh my
I
God.
didn't friggin' find it. I didn't freaking find
No,
it.
we don't have it.
Luckily, it's unplayable anyway. It's
We
like,
don't have
pl-
it.
Well, what would you like to play instead?
Let's do some GameCube.
Sure.
we're not
You
gonna
wanna the
play it.
Jetsons?
No, we're not gonna play it.
Did we?
I remember playing the Jetsons.
We're
It
not
sucked.
gonna
So,
play
I'm just
Knytt
imagining, like, all the
anymore.
sprites in those games look like the shittiest drawing of a Hanna-Barbera character you've ever seen.
Oh, you were
They're
so
just
wrong
standing
though.
Smiling with their mouth
Game
open,
was
open,
fucking
it's
keto.
sick
Look at this shit.
They always refer to looks like.
cartoons. They stopped, right?
Well, kinda. The N64 sprites were all really low res, like this.
Yeah. And PlayStation didn't do any 2D shit.
No.
I guess I thought just based on the quality of like the Street Fighter arcades and stuff like that we were going to get even better 2D animation. But then as soon as 3D was fully, proliferating the culture, we stopped making 2D animation. So
It's a good on purpose thing where like you're not gonna have like a stream of consistent good 2D animated games. You're gonna have one like every 5 to 10 years, right?
Dog is straight out of the Chip and Dale
Chip
game.
and Dale game.
So that was what I was thinking then. But this time I was thinking it's a good on purpose. If you're thinking that we should really have had cartoon games evolve by now because something technology, the technology doesn't have anything to do with it. And even back here, when they had like 1 or 2 megabytes to store the Jetsons game, they didn't even have that excuse. Like, look at that. That's a cartoon.
It's pretty good looking.
Yeah, this game's not too bad actually.
Maybe even better than the show.
It's like I said, it's got kind of an interesting like. I've never played a game that had this gameplay, so I'll give it that.
He's using a vacuum cleaner.
What's with that pose?
Made to believe these were rendered obsolete by the modern conveniences of the modern home conveniences of the age.
I mean, when will we ever get rid of vacuums? When we stop producing dust?
Yes. Yeah, but they also have a maid that does it, and she's a robot.
Yeah, but he's not cleaning with this.
No, right? He's using it to suck up bad guys.
Yeah, and it's got a suction cup specifically so he could use it to grapple onto the wall with. But also, like, hang on, what was I gonna say? Oh, right, just like, yeah, it goes back to what I was saying about, like, we're not gonna use technology to so that we, like, don't need to chew food anymore. We're not gonna have all of our food pre-chewed out of convenience. So, you know, I feel like as technology makes life easier, we're still going to want to explore different ways to move, you know, whether they use technology like a vacuum or something more like what I was thinking, like something that makes your feet go faster.
Oh, cool! You get to zoom through transport.
Like in Final Fantasy VI, you have these sprint shoes that make you walk faster. I guess the shoes make you faster. They don't just make you feel faster like running shoes. So, like, I don't know. Wouldn't George Jetson have, like, little treadmill? You know, there's treadmills everywhere, but wouldn't there be little treadmills on his feet that, like, propel him while he's walking? Just to, like, or like, wouldn't George Jetsons run on all fours or something? Like that?
Well, you know, like,
I guess not when you have that vacuum.
The first thing that happens is George gets fired and replaced by a machine.
Right. It's obvious he's not doing anything at his job.
Well, what he does at his job is already so part of the, like, machine. It's like a button that he pushes.
Right. I
My
mean,
God, another conversation that's just always coming back.
Man's detachment
It's
from
like,
work.
like
Jane doesn't do any work.
The way we're being replaced by machines now versus the way we were being replaced by machines back when the Jetsons was being written versus the way we'll be replaced by machines in the Jetsons future. It's like, it's the same as it ever was, but it gets even worse every future.
She just sits around all day and pushes buttons and acts like she's exhausted from it.
Well, yeah, I mean, she goes...
Well, you still have to be mentally engaged. That's the whole reason you're hired at all. That's the whole reason he has a job, because he needs to be the human being who is mentally engaged enough that he passes the Turing test that Rosie the robot could not.
Shopping all day. That's a busy job.
Oh, yeah, no. She's busy shopping all day with George's money.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's also a thing that's like a reality now, is that, like, you shopping online takes a lot out of you. It's like putting 300 hours into a video game.
Because the computer did all his work.
It's about...
Yeah, but the computer doesn't need money, so it doesn't mind if George takes it. I guess it already takes it. You know, the people who sign his checks every month are probably computers.
To take his money and his wife and
Rudy,
his family.
Rudy is his computer, right? He does all the work.
Rudy.
Right, Rudy. He talks to it.
George.
So, like, yeah, I guess, like, if he wasn't such an incompetent employee, then he wouldn't have gotten fired. Well, that's the official reason, but I feel like it's probably got more to do with the fact that you don't even really need him.
Well, then why doesn't George spend some time with his kids? They're in their own world.
Yeah, they don't care about him.
Well, yeah, like, there is the question of, like, how long are we needed until computers can just, like, do exactly what we can do? And, like, yeah, what are you gonna do, George, when you lose your job? Are you gonna spend time with your kids? Because, like, you know, his daughter doesn't seem that interested in him, and his son is light years ahead of him. Like, you know, he's actually constantly, like, bamboozled by all the progress and technology. you know, in the like credits, they have a recurring gag that's like, "Stop this crazy thing." And it's like, you know, if the Jetsons was a little bit more satirical like the Simpsons, you'd probably have that as like the like something that's just like happening constantly, but like in more and more like anti-technological ways or something. But like sorry.
They're living in space. They're on a different level.
Yeah, Judy is listening to rock and roll music. Elroy, what is Elroy like? He's into robotics too, right?
He's literally
He's like,
Barney.
He's like how Barney Rubble was in the Flintstones. He was like, oh,
Yeah,
Elon Musk
I know,
is doing
Joe.
something. That means it's the next big thing.
That's why I was.
It's
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that.
He
I
tells him
know.
what's going on. He's not really much of a character on his own.
Elroy
He's
is.
always doing the same thing, Elroy. He's always like, Dad, it's called warp drive. Don't you know anything? He's like, oh, I'm getting fired, aren't I?
There's like one where George Jetson is like contemplating suicide, and I couldn't believe that they actually had him say that. And like he's like, I wonder if suicide's illegal. Like, you know, what are they gonna do to you after you kill yourself, George? Like that's really bad. That he thinks he could be punished even more. This is what it feels like to be in such a mechanized society. You know, it has nothing to do with progress. It's oppression.
Yeah, but then Elroy explains to his dad that universal basic income has been a thing for a long time now.
Yeah, his son is just thinking of all the ways he can replace George because he believes in scientific progress. But George is like trying to hang on to humanity for as long as possible.
His dad, you don't even need to go to work.
Who told you?
Why do
needed
you
to
do
go to
that? Like, he does it because it's like a weird human ritual that the robots just work around.
Yes, they're like, well, we need to make these humans feel important because they need to create value through what they imagine to be work somehow. Otherwise,
Yes,
they're completely alienated from their very own
Yeah, like
existence.
Well, then wouldn't the robot takeover, like, gigantic war between us just be like completely manufactured by them? Like, oh, they're having fun. The humans are having fun killing us and thinking they're winning.
Right. We'd be in a
yeah, like in the Matrix future, we actually win that war, but it doesn't matter because if you think about it for even a second, you realize that we're not the winners here. Right? Like you know, what if Morpheus was just saying that like we won? And then like in the second movie they do find out that their rebellion was not planned by the robots, but it's part of their plan because it's something they expect every time, and they expected Neo and they were right. So in a sense, the Matrix did think of that.
Constant battle with them, and they know that, and they don't get, like, they know they could just immediately kill us all whenever they wanted, but they wouldn't do that because
On the other hand, George seems to have a handle on these robot dogs. He's able to use his superior intelligence to destroy them.
wait, why?
Why wouldn't they kill us immediately?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the Matrix explored this idea somewhere, and it's
Well,
like
the Matrix needs the Matrix needs human energy to run.
Yeah, but they didn't even know that initially. So they did kill all the humans and then like unkilled all the. Forget it.
The idea is that we still need George Jetson to push a button if all the computer software fails.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That
It's just being overly cautious, which is the creator of many jobs already.
is the one fail-safe
dying so
against
bad.
complete robot annihilation.
That was the plot of the Jetsons movie.
It's basically like if George was like a crossing guard at 5 a.m., like just in case.
Needs to push a button to save humanity.
Oh, really? That's hilarious because that's literally all he does. Like,
Let me
he doesn't do
see.
anything
Maybe I
else
can
with his
find the
life.
clip of that.
we've really gotten to the bottom of this one. I'm sure you're very familiar with the theory that that the Flintstones live at the bottom of the Jetsons world, right?
They made a Jetsons movie in like the 80s. He's not just overriding the system, he's overriding his boss and the whole company. That's his job, is to push a button that overrides everything. Like, this is basically what the plot of The Matrix was. Neo had to do that. He had to be the human being that could override the system, right? That's literally the only thing they can't do, is do the human override. Well, this is another kind of human override, is to use your body to physically stop the gears from moving. Although it didn't work that well. He got shoved out. I have no idea who was responsible for this, but very mixed results. It's like, doesn't seem great as a movie, but it's also pretty high quality. I like how it looks. This is it. He's supposed to do this or something. Was this the climax of the movie, or was like this the opening? It's like in the middle quality wise. You can't even tell. This was like 1988, wasn't it? Which is just like the perfect year for something to happen. I don't know, 1990. Close enough. I feel like 1990 is close enough. Close enough to the year I was born to say that's like a really interesting time for me. Personally. So could you increase the volume on the stream? The video was pretty quiet, this like Jetsons thing. It doesn't matter. You didn't need to hear it that badly.
Oh my god. So like at the bottom, but wouldn't they have like a lot of technology? Oh yeah, they do have a lot of technology.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Jetsons,
they pick up the crumbs that is dropped by the Jetsons society and have a pretty advanced society themselves with those crumbs. Isn't there a children's rhyme about pushing buttons? I don't know it. The rerun stream?
Civilization, they just drop 2001 style monoliths on the Flintstones every time they're dying in a way that annoys them. Whenever the Flintstones get a disease that's killing them and like would just literally involve,
guys, I
like,
thought we were past this.
They just like airdrop that shit and it changes everything down there. And
is it like a lot quieter than my voice? Because I want it to be a little quieter than my voice.
The next big thing, Fred. It's called coronavirus. We're all gonna get one. What should we play? We got a few games.
Yeah, these games didn't work. There was a Battalion Wars. I never played that. I wanted to play it. I guess when I was a kid, I got the sense that it wasn't that good, so I never bought it. And I watched a video of it recently, and it looks kind of bad, so I think I made the right call. It's a game that's like in the same series as, but only tangentially. related to Advance Wars, so I don't think it was really worth it.
Ash, let me
It's substantially quieter. All right, I'm making it louder then. What am I saying?
I don't normally have a
I think we were
singing
just
show,
playing. Yeah, let me skip
names at,
around
like,
a little.
independent cinemas in Philly, but a lot of the time it's, you know, I have a projector screen at home, and I feel like a lot of the time I go to those indie cinemas and it's like, all right, but I could just like watch like a screen this size at home.
Well,
Meredith
think
with her
there's definitely a
scream.
feeling that you get when you watch
Meredith
it
in
with everybody.
Paris.
Yeah.
that you can't get at
Directed by
home.
Woody
Oh,
Allen.
absolutely. The experience of seeing a blockbuster
Meredith's
in the theaters
Adventures.
is tremendous.
Paris. Meredith goes back
I
in
felt that
time.
very strongly when I saw Top
Hangs
Gun,
out with.
which I think for me and a lot of people
Still
was like a
Harris.
return to the movies moment.
Uh-huh.
I felt that movie in my balls watching it with a crowd of people. It was awesome. But then again, when I went to the independent cinema to see Barbie, I kind of wished I'd been alone in my house. Not that Barbie was an independent cinema, it just
Oh my
happened
god,
to be
we're talking
playing
about
there.
Barbie now.
I think we had waited too long. That seems impossible.
What
It
was
impossible
Barbie
to wait
like?
too long to see Barbie.
Did anyone
That shit was
enjoy
in
that?
theaters
Is
forever.
anyone watching that now?
But I saw Barbie. I don't know why I saw Barbie in an
I think I heard
independent
people
theater,
saying
okay?
good things about Battalion Wars, but I also don't think it looks interesting.
Maybe it was sold out.
I liked
It
Barbie.
was sold out near me,
All right,
okay?
that's good.
I went to see Barbie at like one of those independent theaters where like the men walk out and they're like, this really gave me a lot to think about. Now I'm thinking. Like that was the first fucking thing I heard as I walked out the door of that fucking movie. Like I could have done without that. Thank you.
Yeah, there's some shit about people and public that I could do without. It's like, you know, there's so many console games that differ from arcade games because they're the kind of thing you play at home.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you couldn't be playing Pikmin at an arcade machine.
No, but what a beautiful idea that there would be a machine you could play this on. Hey, you. Come here. You want to come over to me? Hey.
Talking to a dog or a
Let's see if
cat.
you'll come over with me.
Dog.
No, sweetie pie. Poor Heidi had to go to the vet and get blood work yesterday. She's okay. But she,
This is like a trivia question
to
on
get her
the
very
Thingus
helpful.
quiz
I feel like
show.
it's medication.
When did
Don't
Heidi get
mind me disclosing your
blood
medical
work
names
done?
on the air, Heidi. In order to get that, I needed them to draw blood, and it really felt bad to let them muzzle her and
Die, but
take her blood. She's so old.
oh, sounds so
Like,
sad, especially with this
Do
music.
anything for this dog, but like, if she seems okay, can you leave her alone?
Oh no! Accidentally quit.
Just leave her alone.
The
She
Knytt.
seems okay.
Find it again.
Anyway, she's fine. She forgives me. She's just being like the same amount of annoying today as she always is.
Well, she was just like running back and forth before, and it was because she couldn't jump up there with that computer and
I know.
tripod in the way.
I know, she was so frustrated. Poor thing.
So she just like knocked the computer down and fell off.
Yeah. At her age, any disruption.
Oh
to
man,
her
I wish I
routine,
could have gotten that on camera. It
she
was
just
funny.
gets disoriented, you know?
Yeah.
She's just lost. She needs everything. She's
It's
fine.
so
She needs
silly.
everything basically.
I don't know
the
what
same
this
as everybody
object
else.
is, but I probably have to get it before I go
Chill.
back. Oh, I guess
Yeah,
then you're
she's
supposed to
chill.
fall through here with the object. Barbie
Yes,
was like
Barbie's good
feminism
out for
101
straight
for
guys.
babies, but still good. Okay.
That's hilarious. Men be thinking.
Be thinking.
Oh man. Oh. See, Heidi got up again because I laughed too much.
Oh.
Poor dog.
Heidi is sad. Heidi got up.
Poor me.
Heidi felt bad.
You
Heidi
wanna go
lost
down?
blood. Heidi is mad. She wants her
I'm gonna
blood
try to help
back.
her.
Give
Okay.
Heidi a cookie.
Heidi.
She wants a cookie and pretzels and orange juice.
I'm not sure what you meant by help her. You took care of her, didn't you?
Yeah, I took care of her. The door in the staircase downstairs was closed, so she couldn't get out by herself.
Oh, I see.
She needed me to help her. Now she's gone.
Thank you for helping Heidi.
I helped her.
You have to help her.
Hey, Gabby. Pikmin's fire.
Did you know that it's been 30 years since Earthbound came out?
Since Earthbound came out. Yes, I did know that because I do read about video games on the internet.
Yeah.
It unfortunately doesn't have much. It doesn't have the same significance to me as it does to you. I have recently checked out some of the Earthbound games, but for one thing, I'm not very far into them, and for another, I'm just analyzing them academically in ways that you were free from when you were when you played, which means
you're reading a history textbook on why Joe liked this game.
yeah, exactly. I'm just like, oh, this is a beautiful creation. I see. Oh yeah, I understand why people like.
No,
And
you understand.
That's not the same as personally experiencing the game, unfortunately.
No, I mean, you
No.
shouldn't be given the expectation that it, like, you know, I guess just by saying it's been 30 years is giving you an expectation. So sorry about that.
It's okay. I mean, Earthbound's legacy speaks for itself.
I rarely talk about it, but yeah, it's important to me. Like when Smash Brothers came out, I was like, who's Ness? And then I played the game and it like became my
Changed your
favorite
life.
game.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's eating them. It's like he's eating a little krill.
God damn you.
But yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
it is
you know,
favorite game
the thing
material.
is, like,
It is, you know, if you need to study why it's important, you can just ask me, and I can probably describe in some ways what is significant about it, that are not so college sounding, I guess. Let's see if I can even like sum it up. I don't know. It's just a really unique game, I guess. There's lots of really unique games. Pikmin's a really unique game. This is a really unique game. So, you know, I guess in the nature of really unique games, you have to play all of them. You have to, you know, you have to allow room for all of these games in the same world. Or, you know, if you believe that we're going to leave this world one day and have to choose the games that we're going to take with us and which ones we're not, then you will have to categorize games as like the best of all time and everything else. Because there is, for some reason in this fantasy, there is limited space, even though there probably isn't. I don't know. I just want to go to space and leave some things behind and have them be destroyed and never have to think about them again. Also, I can't go to the left. There's just nothing but ocean that way. But there's endless world everywhere else. Yeah, also this game does have sound. I just chose to turn it off. What it sounds like. I don't actually remember this version. This is 1.0.2. The version I had must have been less than 1 because I don't remember there being like sound, or like maybe there was some sound. Yeah, it was like this. Mostly ambiance. The music is set to play often. You can set it to sometimes and never. Yeah, I do remember the music now. The music is soothing.
A video game sticks with you forever because of the place and time that you played it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, like what was even happening in the place and time I played Knytt? I was like, it was 2007. I was using Facebook. Somebody on Facebook told me to play this game.
And when you're, especially when you're young and growing, that has such an impact on you. And you go back and you're actually able to feel some of the feelings still of that experience that you once had. But if you had first encountered that experience as an adult, you would not have that.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I was an adult playing this game. I was in college. I mean, when I say adult, I was like 18. Not really a full adult. Actually kind of stupid.
I was looking at the art and thinking about how 90s it looks and how it couldn't be made anymore in this way because we're not living in the 90s anymore.
Only by a fan of this, which would mean that it's a reaction to this aesthetic. It's not them actually
A reaction.
making it then and there.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt this game with a different game. Here, maybe I'll just get a video of it. There's a game called Anton Blast, which is like that. You're talking about a game that exists in sort of like it exists to. What did it just
More
say?
in this
Like a
fan
comment
of
on
this, which would mean that it's a reaction to this.
No, not a reaction. Not a comment. A reaction. It's like the way it has this like 90s-ness to it. It's like you can't make it now because you're not in the time period. All you can do is be a fan making a reaction to it. Like this is what people drew like. This is what games look like.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, and there's a demo. It's pretty fun.
Aesthetic. It's
Sorry to
not.
interrupt that.
It's not them actually
No, aesthetics you don't
making it then and there.
I don't know, like you can like revive an aesthetic, but like I feel like you can only truly wield it if you can like put yourself in the shoes of the people who lived back then somehow. Like I feel like I've seen it done right, and I don't know, it's not like that weird boyfriend from Daria who like pretended he was living in the 1930s. I don't think it's like that. I think it's just like you have to make stuff based on your own experiences, right? But then like if you try to make it like an aesthetic that isn't the now, then it's like, you know, maybe a lot of your experiences are experiencing things through those people, through fiction, or, you know, through film, video of people from that era. But also a lot of it is, you know, when it comes to games like Perfect Tides, it's a lot like you lived through that era. So it is authentically you. It's not like you're copying 1920s fashion or anything. It's just, it took this long for you to come to terms with a lot of things from those times, to process them and to feel outside of them or something. It's like, it's hard to say when a style really has come to an end. Like with Frutiger, the Frutiger craze that's been going on. Like for instance, this aesthetic from this game right here, this like green bubble, this bubbly text, everything's bubbly. That's like the Frutiger look. It's like the Xbox logo shit. Like it's like the old like Windows 7 desktops. And it's like this shit. It's like a current phenomenon, or like a phenomenon from last year. And I think like you don't notice those things are dead until a long time has passed and like you've processed them.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of games that are trying to be like Earthbound by now.
What do you consider as adult age in regards to that? In regards to like that time where you can stop feeling that a game is formative to you? I think mid 20s, when your brain stops developing, is probably around the time when you stop being able to have that experience.
By
the
don't
time
know.
you've reached mid 20s, you're not experiencing
They talk
many
about how I
things
don't
for
know.
the first time, except perhaps chronic pain, which you will continue to experience newly as an adult, as long as you shall live. But you know, your first this, your first that, the thoughts that were going through your head, the ways that your brain was calmed by games in those years, and shaped your perception as you were forming your own personal philosophies. Oh my god, it's just like a Looney Tunes bagog sound. It's so funny. Yeah, I would say, you know, by the time you're in like late 20s, you can't really feel that way anymore, I don't think. Unless, you know, I don't know. Unless video games were still you know, a large part of the way you explored the world. But I feel like, you know, if you even leave the house a bit, that does stop being the case at any point. I suppose if you never leave the house, you can feel this way about video games your whole life. But no, you won't. You won't. Because you'll still be a miserable piss online, talking about all the things that you remember when you were younger and how people don't get it anymore. It doesn't require leaving the house to be a miserable piss about getting old. You may as well leave the house.
What about that guy who like has the like evil Christmas display, and he doesn't leave his house, does he? Evil Christmas display. How do I find that again? The evil Christmas display is a guy in Pittsburgh who had a beautiful Christmas house, and well, I suppose it was a bit overwhelming for the neighbors. So the neighbors complained, and I'm not sure how. Maybe the man has some sort of mental disorder, but like he retaliated against these people by turning his Christmas display into like a Christmas horror show. Let's see if I can find it. Pittsburgh evil Christmas hell. How do I find it? Homeowners feel trapped by neighbors' hostile holiday display.
Some towns attract big crowds for their incredible Christmas decorations, but here's the Christmas story you haven't seen before. A nasty neighbor wrecking the halls instead of building them. It's so bad, one neighbor even called it the Christmas from hell, and you have to see it to believe it. Here's Deborah Roberts with the town that got Scrooged.
'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the night, the glow of homes blanketed with lights, lights, lights.
Here comes Santa Claus.
Bright, dazzling excess. It may seem over the top, unless you've been to this neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the home of the modern-day Scrooge on Fairley Road.
He's an angry person.
Any opportunity he has to make our life a hardship, he does.
He is Bill Ansel, an electrician by day who neighbors say uses his skills to terrorize them at night, all year long. Take a look at his holiday horror display, a beheaded choir, a hanging Mickey Mouse. Even the jolly old man is being naughty, not nice.
And the Santa, the urinating Santa, does that actually work?
Yes,
at night?
it lights up at night.
Chris and Joanne Hebda have been staring at this Nightmare Before Christmas display every day for the last 6 years, because Fairley Road is a circular street.
He looks exactly how he should, yeah. He looks very smug.
Peace here at all.
He gives new definition to the
He
word.
just has like
It almost sounds like you're a hostage in your
this
own
like
home.
feeling of immunity.
The Hebdas moved here 30 years ago, thinking it was a happy place to raise their kids. Their neighbors did too, until Ansel went all bah humbug on them. Tacked up all over his house are profane, personalized signs. attacking
Right,
both
the
township
signs.
and the neighbors.
How many of you?
He names them and says they're fat and ugly.
I believe everybody has.
What is the worst thing he said in these signs?
That's just cool.
In fact, some are so
It is kind of sick, but I don't like that he keeps it up all year. That's just lazy. That's just so fucking hateful.
We wondered the same thing until we stumbled upon kind of the ghost of Christmas past.
This display is dedicated
Look.
to Lost Township. Shame on you for destroying my display that brought so much joy and happiness to so many people. Township.
This display is dedicated to you destroying my display. Like, oh my god. This is like a guy on Twitter in real life. Like tweeting his house like a shitty account. Like this is what this is what like call to action Instagram posts look like. Shame on you. He probably had "fuck you" written there. And he put "shame on" over it. Why does it say "shame on" as if like why can he replace that? Is it like he changes it every week to say something else to you? No, he definitely would change it like every 3 years.
Shame on you for destroying my display that brought so much joy and happiness to so many people.
Yes, it seems that years ago, before all this darkness, there was light. Bright lights, Christmas lights. Who'd guess that this happy holiday home was Bill Ansel's? Turns out he was a Christmas fanatic. But one Thanksgiving, neighbor Pam Heck asked Bill to tone it down a little while her family had dinner.
It was very unpleasant between us after that.
And it went downhill from there.
That was the moment this Christmas tale took a twisted turn.
I used to have a beautiful Christmas
With
display.
Smith.
I hated it. This is my display now. I think it's against the law to exercise your right to have your own display.
Oh, so petty. It's your house, though. Why ruin your own house? Oh my god, poor guy. I feel bad for him. He needs help. It's my right. Yes, it's your right to be mentally ill, but it's also your right to burn yourself with cigarettes.
You're a prisoner on your own street. It can come down to a matter of just to leave the house empty and move.
Pam says the stress of it all
Oh my god. I feel no. Oh, poor Pam. Oh my god. Yeah, I feel so bad for everyone. I feel bad for the cops.
Even tried killing him with kindness.
Oh.
And then he threw the pies on the street afterwards.
Oh, this is making me not cry, but like feel a lot of shame. Oh. Oh. It's like to have a contentious relationship with your neighbors. That's no way to live.
Ansel was in no mood to talk. But the town
Pam asked him to tone it down.
Not to our knowledge.
That was her crime.
But so far, it hasn't been done.
She didn't like Christmas. She didn't like America. She's a fat, ugly pig. I put up a sign saying shame on Pam.
Court order is to clean the debris up in the yard.
Yeah, like that's gotta be illegal, all that mess.
And unlike Ebenezer Scrooge, there's no happy ending.
There's no ghosts to torment him.
We decided that we would.
God. I think Bill is our Thingus villain of today. He's he really deserves a Scroogening. You know, some people deserve an old boying. They're really evil. But like this guy needs a Scroogening. He's that kind of evil. We really want him to just eat the pie and be happy. He threw the pie in the street. Like, was it really worth it? Was it really more pleasurable to do that? Oh, Bill. And he was beloved once. So, you know, maybe even a tricky bitch. The Scrooge comparison is very hopeful. Very hopeful that this is a guy who will remember the spirit that originally got him to make the display in the first place, and to leave behind and to drop that anger that's caused him to ruin his own front and back and everywhere yard. Everyone's problem. Oh my god. What a sad little guy. And in Pittsburgh, geez, like people in Pittsburgh are usually they're all right. That sounds like a scary person to live near. Anyway, started talking about this because Meredith said something.
It doesn't require leaving the house.
Yeah. Like, being bitter doesn't require leaving the house.
Alive. It will manifest in different ways. Through the eyes of a child. Or, you know, through an academic lens. That is how a lot
just
of
have
people...
kids.
Or,
Just have sex.
Just have sex, and eventually video games will become a big part of your life again.
You know, I can't claim to have had either, but I have seen through just, you know, hanging out with Meredith's kid that there are some things that inspire wonder once again. Like, if he thinks something's cool, then it basically means it's cool. Like, children need these distractions, right? And like Mario could actually keep him occupied for the rest of his life or the rest of his childhood. Like, I was just like looking at my phone once, and you know, which is a mistake, which Meredith says don't let him watch YouTube. It's like he just sees a thumbnail with Mario on it, and it's like, Mario.
You know, artists.
Oops, wrong button.
Mario.
It's like it's like a horror video with Mario in it, but children don't know that. But like I got to see his reaction to Mario 64, and just like seeing him jumping around as Mario being free is like, it like told me immediately why that game was still like the top 3D Mario game ever, right? Because it's the one where you get to be the most free. The other games are, you know, the camera's not perfect, but the other games he was less interested in. And I also understood why. Because they're just, you know, there's a gimmick in every one of them. Mario 64 doesn't really have gimmicks. It's just a 3D game. It's a novelty, not a gimmick.
You know, a lot of people go on to make video games. I don't know anyone, but...
And like that woman who made that game for her children, it's like, you should be making games for children, because games are for children, right? And if you have children, you're making it for them. I was reading Miyazaki's book where he talks about how he's, you know, making his films for his kids.
You know, I spend a lot of time analyzing video games academically, and that is like a very rewarding pastime for me. So even though I only play about 10 minutes of any game before I lose patience with it, I am absorbing a lot of pleasure from video games. But it's just completely different now. It's not the pleasure I got from playing Super Mario World or Yoshi's Island.
That's true. You really ought to play some games. I found that a couple of games I played were very different from watching someone play. You know, like many times, you know, you have to play a game to really understand why it's a big deal. Super Mario World was a good example because it's like the peak of Mario games, and everyone knows it, right? Everyone, I mean, they really didn't even make Mario games after that. They made Mario 3D games, which were kind of a spin-off. And the 2D Mario games got, like, disappeared for, like, a decade. They made Yoshi's Island in 1995. And then 2005, they made New Super Mario Brothers for the DS. Which is, like, might as well be a bootleg game, because it looks like Crundus. It looks like Bacrundicus. It looks like generic, and it's not always a bad thing. Pikmin is not generic. Donkey Kong Country is generic. And yeah, even Mario World is generic, but that's a good thing. That game is awesome. I guess the art is really good. Like the concept art is like very good. It's not just it's not just like highly technical generic art. It's actually got a really good memorable style that kind of abandoned. And then the very generic new Super Mario Brothers style, which they've maintained ever since 2005, 20 years ago. And, you know, they've put a couple, you know, Himalayan crystals onto Mario since then. But it's still underneath of all of that. It's still the same, like, really generic style. So what's the thing? It's like, I guess like Mario games have had moments, like in Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey, they've all had great moments where it, you know, really feels like the game was worth it. But like they've never made a game that felt anything like Mario World except for Yoshi's Island. And they never made a game that really felt like Yoshi's Island. They made a bunch of really generic spin-offs.
Or Final Fantasy VII. Or Parasite Eve. I'm still replaying that, by the way. It still does it for me. Because...
Got a bunch of buddies in Pittsburgh. Most of them have 12-foot skeletons. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's that kind of place. Oh yeah. What else is going on in this video?
Like the Hobonichi planner.
That's right, my Hobonichi planner that I write all of my
a toy
out of the house.
Who doesn't make games, or he does,
he's like
but
more known for that than Earthbound, I think.
I think.
Oh my God! Did you see that? Look at that frog crushing
like
all those
known for
Pikmin.
that than Earthbound, I think.
Brutal.
I think that's great. I think that's
that
how
is
it should
great.
be.
Yeah.
Like a perfect artistic.
Great, I agree.
life would be.
Jonathan's right.
Creating something beautiful when you're young.
Donadith.
That people just love and adore for like the rest of time, and then settling on a product that sells, and making it as good as you can, and just making a lot of money doing that for.
Stop
forever.
blocking Meredith's face.
And the two don't have to be.
I'll just have her. I'll be on her shirt. My God, the audio of this.
That doesn't completely define him. Yeah, like the fact that he made a game, it doesn't completely define him.
No.
He's like above it.
I mean, I feel like that's true of everybody, you know? Like,
well, Itoy wanted to make Mother 3 really badly. He made Mother 2 for the NES. They made Mother 1 for the NES, Mother 2 for the Super NES, and then Mother 3 was going to be for the N64. But that got canceled because it was like 2001 and nobody wanted to develop for the N64 anymore. So instead, it sat for a few years. But then, like, it got revived around 2003 or 4 for the GBA. And then finally in 2006, it came out. But, like, he kept saying, like, this was the story I wanted to tell, and I don't have plans for a Mother 4. And that was almost 20 years ago. So I don't think he's going to change his mind. I didn't expect him to change his mind. I, was proud of him for making that statement. I saw a post about, it was like Akira Toriyama making like a page of like a manga of his character Aral. It's like, here's the last drawing I will ever make of Aral. stay tuned for my next cartoon, Dragon Ball, if it comes out. Then in the editor's note, it was like, it came out. I thought that was funny, but also, like, that takes guts, right? To say, like, I think I'm done with this character. I think I've drawn a lot of this character, and this is the last one. And, like, I guess, you know, maybe he was just thinking, like, from now on, I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time drawing Dragon Ball characters, and like, I don't know, like, maybe it's more of a Japanese thing where, like, here we're thinking about how we can milk stuff for until after we're dead. It's like maybe they're thinking like the story has a beginning, middle, and end. And I know that, like, we're not going to need to, like, revive this. I've already explored this character fully. And I do think that I can't say the same for some of my characters, but if I could explore them fully, that would be cool to say that like I'm done with them. They're fulfilled in my heart. They are a full picture.
Like, enough years go by and somebody asks you about something from enough years ago and you're just like, I can't say I enormously remember what it was like.
Right, like, you can't revive a lot of things unless you want to make it with the ideas you have for it now that you like. Like, you can't go back to something with what you used to think about. It's like you were making different art at that time than the stuff you're making now. So, like, it's not really possible, is it, to, like, send your brain back in time and, like, just simply revive, you know, whatever friggin' thing that's being revived. So is a thing.
To be making that. I've moved on. You know?
You sometimes move on immediately.
His game got canceled for the N64.
It was only a few years,
eventually got to make it for the Game Boy Advance, Mother Earth 3.
Right.
And
it felt
was
like
good.
a lot for me because I was a teenager. Like, between 2001 and 2003, there was no news on the game. Is that it? It was 2 years. We didn't hear anything about the game. 2 or 3 years. And then finally, in like 2003 or 4, we find out the game exists. Well, I remember there was a Mother 1 and 2 for the GBA that was like a Japanese only port of the game. And like I remember being in such disbelief about it, saying they showed, like, yeah, let me find it. Maybe I can, not ROM, Mother 1 and 2 commercial. Like, they say at the end of the commercial that they're also working on Mother 3.
Game Boy Advance.
大人も子供もお姉さんも再びマザー1-2ゲームボーイアドバンスで登場
And we're making Mother 3 for the GBA.
ゲームボーイアドバンスで登場
Like, that's it. Like, that was the announcement. They brought these games to the Game Boy Advance. Also, we're making Mother 3 for the Game Boy Advance. And it's like, I still can't believe it. But yeah, like, that was great. What year was that? Well, this is uploaded in 2009, and okay, what was the Mother 3 timeline again? There was it was announced in like 99 or 98 or 9. Then it was canceled around 2001. Then it came back here, I think, in 2003. Then it came out in 2006. But then, even after it came out, it wasn't translated. It wasn't localized. It wasn't English. It wasn't American. So, it took 3 years for the translation, the fan translation, to be completed. And I believe in 2009 was when I played the game in Japanese and like didn't understand it, just because I was eager to do it, using like some guides on starman.net that said essentially what was happening. But I didn't really play it until I played the fan translation, which is completely different experience. It's like you can't just play it without the dialogue. It's like watching a trailer for it. Playing through the entire game without the dialogue felt like watching a trailer for it or something. In my memory, I can't even like imagine what it was about or what they were saying. Probably wasn't a great idea, but I guess the memories of the fan translation have sort of overwritten any memories of not knowing what they were saying. So I guess it's fine. Oh my god. Yeah. Great move. Make the game you want to make, not endless mother games, because, first of all, it's not like the biggest series in the world. It's got a really loving following, a cult following, but it's not like mainstream in the United States. It is pretty popular in Japan, but in the United States, it's like it's not mainstream at all. But like probably because there's no endless churn of sequels and content relating to it. It's the guy wanted to keep it like this. He didn't have an idea for it that was like make this his entire fucking life. He has a career outside of this. Anyway.
It was maybe a good thing that it got canceled because the art style went back to 2D and it was better.
Right.
Do you want to play some Wave Race?
Sure, if the controller works. Or should I just play by myself?
Well, we'll see, I guess. Maybe this one doesn't work. It was what?
Not what? Oh. They're just like reacting to every last thing that I do. That's right. Like, is he my coach? He's not talking to anyone but me. It's like strangely intimate.
It's like a radio in your ear.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like, what are you doing later?
What are you doing later?
I feel very close to you, coaching you like this.
No,
Do you feel the same way?
back.
You don't have to answer right now. Obviously, finish the race first, and then tell me yes or no. Will you be my girlfriend? You got it. I'm here to encourage you, baby.
I'm a girlfriend.
Baby, I'm so proud of you.
Baby, I'm so proud of you. I have a girlfriend.
I'm just gonna give you a big hug when you finish this race. I'm just gonna press you into my body. Hold you there for a long time.
You have been
And then I'm
born
gonna be like,
multiple
whoa,
times.
what was that? Did that go on a little longer than usual? I'm just wondering what this is, baby. I'm getting all of that from this voice. I can't be crazy here.
It's just a regular coach voice.
Then he just comforted me.
What?
While rubbing my back.
That doesn't mean anything. He didn't call you baby.
He said baby.
Yeah, you know,
All right, I
baby
guess
is
I'm
the,
just
like,
not hearing it.
director kind
not
of way.
listening for it.
He's gaslighting me.
Yes, I'm gaslighting you.
Normal? I don't know what normal means.
You bet.
All right, I'm
Submitting
gonna do this
to
girl
each-
again. Wait, is it the
submitting a
same
report
guy
to
for?
HR
Is it
about
the
your
same
conduct
coach
is gaslighting.
for every person, or am I just lucky?
I played this game once. I don't remember anything.
Okay, that's fun.
Welcome to Ocean City Harbor. This is day one of the
Oh, he's cute.
Oh, did you want to talk about Aladdin at all?
Sure.
Oh man, I know it was like 3 months ago,
Yeah,
but
we
I'm
saw-
like
we
getting
saw Little
nostalgic for
Mermaid
this
and
shit.
Aladdin in 35 millimeter at the drive-in
I want to go
movie
back.
theater. Man, that was
Probably
so
too
much fun.
cold.
Just eating a whole bag of popcorn.
Oh my god.
Fun.
Fun.
Good shit. The dog looking around the next
I was so
morning for
cold.
popcorn.
Oh yeah, the dog. The dog.
I should have worn
spent the
pants. I was
entire
wearing
morning-
shorts.
Like everyone left.
Oh,
we were just
Heidi.
taking our time getting out of there, and the dog is just scouring the entire campsite.
Oh,
and just
it was
getting
heaven.
so much old.
It was
popcorn.
literally heaven. Like that's where that's where you go.
Die and come back as a bird. I'm gonna hang out there all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, a
Eating
crow.
popcorn and watching movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
that's
crow.
good
A
stuff.
crow is smart enough to understand a movie like that.
Just eating a whole bag of popcorn. Free refills. Just eat popcorn until you explode.
And yeah, they had Aladdin. And yeah, no Will Smith in this one.
No Will Smith. Just Robin Williams doing all kinds of voices he wouldn't be allowed to do anymore.
Yep. Yeah, it's just Robin Williams being Robin Williams, or I guess he's being someone else. Oh, here's a good hill to die on.
Oh no! Oh no! I never
Yeah,
should have asked for this.
I will re-die on this hill.
Crack this one open.
This is a rerun,
you know,
and I'm
Robin
going to
Williams doing
re-die.
accents.
I will die
It's,
on this hill again. That accents are fun.
I agree. with
I'm not
that.
saying
You
they're
agree
not
with that.
hateful
But
or
when you say
tools
that,
for
you have to be more
hatred.
specific. Do you
I'm
think
just saying
Robin
they're
Williams
fun.
should be allowed to do that, or do you think like any asshole should be allowed to do that?
Any asshole should be allowed to do it, but it shouldn't.
You have to be like an
I guess it shouldn't be
ascended
anyone's
asshole.
Problem unless there's entertaining as Robin Williams.
Well, yeah, I think that's it, really.
Yeah,
is,
not
like,
any asshole
if
is
you're
as
gonna do
entertaining as
that,
him. So
you've really
that's
got to dance, right?
it's like saying the opposite
he
of
sang
any
in that
asshole.
voice.
Yeah, he did sing in that voice, and everyone was like, "This
Yeah.
is fine." It's
He
Robin
sang in that
Williams,
voice,
and we
and
don't care
we love
about
it.
this kind of thing yet.
No, well, we don't care. We don't know. Like nobody knows that was Robin
Look, I
Williams doing
love
the
him.
guy at the beginning.
No, I didn't know
Look,
that
he's
until years
cute.
later.
He didn't want you to know that.
No, he's,
No, he didn't even want you to know he did
It
the
had nothing
voice
to
for
do
the
with,
genie.
like,
He didn't want
his
the
name
fucking
being used to promote the movie.
yeah, like he didn't want it to be all about him and his celebrity status. He thought that was annoying, and it is. It's like, you know, in an interview, he's like, I just want to be part of this like great tradition of animation. And it's like, you know, like they had already basically started the movie, and I don't know if it was Eric Goldberg's intention, but they did kind of strong arm him by animating these tests that were like all based on Robin Williams' act.
right,
They
right,
cut
right,
off your
because
ear if they don't like your voice.
celebrity voice acting in Disney movies was like not a thing.
Well, like, you know, the weird thing is like if you do an accent, people will mostly think it's funny, but then like they're like, wait a minute, what color's your skin? And then the answer to that question affects how you feel about it. And I don't think it should. You know, he does a black voice, Robin Williams. He does like a black voice. He does an Arab voice in Aladdin. And like, those things are sensitive, I suppose, because his skin is white. Wow. You know, there is the like the idea of like what's the intent behind that. So I think if the intent is to get laughs from a general audience, then it's probably just, you know, funny. Depends, I guess, if you're looking for KKK white terrorist intimidation of political candidates. Like, I don't know. If that's your intention, then maybe it'll come off that way. I think it's just that things like that are truncated so that any resemblance to that is sorted algorithmically with them. Dumb fact, when I try to make a fake Latino accent, I sound like I'm trying to do an Arab accent. And I'm Latino, so I should be better at this. Yeah. That's kind of funny. Like, if the justification is that you are that, so you should be like allowed to do the accent, I think that's backwards if you can't actually do it and you should be better. But that's how a lot of people think, you know. Will Smith could do the like cool black guy because he is one. Except he's not cool. So it is appropriation because he's not cool anymore. Next mag, I'll try to talk in it. It'll be so dumb bad. That's funny. I mean, you know, I think being of being of that group does make you more authentic, which is why people want to hear it from you. But I'm just saying I don't want to not hear it from Robin Williams too, because he's so good at impersonating people. Not cool now, no longer. Well, what's the implication? Like, you know, people are never going to denounce Robin Williams, but they will try to act like Will Smith is like measures up because it, you know, it's like the safe version of it. Is it saying that Robin Williams isn't cool any longer? Because I don't think anyone should be
there were
dying on
voices,
that hill.
like Vincent Price, but it wasn't like the guy who was like really famous right now, like him, right? Wasn't Robin Williams like really big in 1991?
Oh yeah,
very famous.
Yeah, no.
Many movies.
I cannot wait to see
many movies
in Aladdin.
Yeah,
he was in Popeye.
Knew who that was?
Yeah.
From what?
What did he do before Aladdin that I would have known about?
I'm probably gonna bring up Popeye.
I knew that I already knew about Robin Williams. Maybe I'd just seen him on talk shows and stuff with our parents.
Game is like this much different from Wave Race 64.
Well, yeah, I don't know, because I guess
not
he's
that
been in a lot of
it looks
stuff.
great. It's just like
but
Wave Race 64 was also great.
Was Genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I think I saw that in theaters, right? When I was like a baby.
I think you would have been very little, but
yeah.
He was in Mork and
I don't
Mindy.
know if I saw Mork and Mindy before Aladdin. I don't think so. I would have had to be like a 6-year-old watching Mork and Mindy on Nick at Night. Like, seems unlikely.
Before.
Knew about, all right. Okay, here's a guess. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe what I knew Robin Williams from was months and months of hype about Aladdin leading up to the release.
No. He's
I
like
saw
Robin
video
Williams from the
after
commercial.
video of this funny man.
This was his
doing
nightmare.
lines
Yeah.
and doing interviews, and I mean, he did like there was like quite a big lead up to this movie.
Talking about how they filmed him and used his animation reference.
Wanna play?
Yeah. Just get like $50,000 to be the genie.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
what I heard from a YouTube video.
Can we confirm that Robin Williams was only paid $50,000?
Yeah, speaking of which, that YouTuber was like, oh my god. I feel like I haven't fully processed the like what they did to Lindsay Ellis. Like what did they do to Lindsay Ellis? Do you remember Lindsay Ellis? There was like the Nostalgia Critic, and like suddenly a girl pops up to like correct him, and like it's like, who's this bitch? And it's like Lindsay Ellis. And then like years later, she's making her own videos. They're like YouTube video essays and shit. And this little tidbit I heard about Robin Williams being paid $50,000 for Aladdin, and then not coming back for the second movie, and then finally coming back for the third movie, receiving an apology and $1 million. Is information I got from a Lindsay Ellis video, which I feel like is actually a very insightful and entertaining video. But Lindsay stopped making videos, and it had to do with a book writing career that she seemed more focused on, but also I think it was like a big cancellation. I remember this convo. Did we talk about this? I don't think, no.
Right.
I'm just playing Wave Race.
Okay.
But like, yeah, like Wave Race. Wave Race was canceled. They never made another Wave Race game. Look at this. They have Game Boy Advance ads in Wave Race. But anyway, Lindsay Ellis made like, she did a racism, and the pencil mob came after her. It was shameful. It was all over some dumb comments about some really dumb Disney movie that everyone on Earth forgot about. Raya and the Last Dragon. Like, she said something that was probably less racist than the movie was itself. And like the mountain, what, God, what's the line of what's the line from Burn After Reading? The shitstorm of consequences just came down hard on her, made her head spin faster than the wheels on her Schwinn bicycle, and basically disappeared from YouTube. I don't know if she's okay, but I think she might be back making videos now. It's been a couple of years, but yeah. Just wanted to add a little extra context to that, because this is where is this fucking video about Raya? Maybe she doesn't even have it anymore. She did a good video about J.K. Rowling. She did a video about Robin Williams. She did a video about cats, which has the funniest title, Why is Cats? Oh, and she reviewed some of the like really shitty like woke Disney and like remake garbage. But anyway, Thingus hero, I guess, for standing up to criticism, for being a critic who can stand up to. I guess she did it. If she disappeared, I just liked her videos. she's from the past now, because she was in those like nostalgia critic videos from like a million years ago. There was one she was in that was like, what were they reviewing? They were doing like they were doing a review of some old Krampus movie. Ugh. Anyway, this was from back before there was like a million content. And like, you know, stuff like the Nostalgia Critic was, you know, I used to watch the Nostalgia Critic and Yahtzee. That's another thing that this game reminds me of, is Yahtzee. I heard whispers, not the game, Yahtzee the guy, Yahtzee Croshaw. Like, I heard whispers about him leaving Escapist. I haven't heard much about this. The last video was 4 months ago. Oh, it was a tweet. A tweet on YouTube? Oh, this is two different people talking.
All right, I understand.
Union scale.
Now we understand.
So does that mean that's how much it was? $50,000? Or he got
Union
paid
scale?
more than that? 50,000
What,
sounds right.
what the
yeah.
fuck is that about?
All right.
Is that $50,000 just the average pay for
Well,
anything?
I suppose there was just, this was a new frontier, right? A celebrity voice actor in a cartoon, in a, like a massive cartoon.
Yeah, it made them millions because they made lots of other movies based on the formula of getting the guy.
Right.
No, which was also Robin Williams' fear.
Oh, right. He didn't want it to compete with Toys. Okay.
Toys, a movie no one
Right,
remembers.
a movie nobody remembers. A movie that I rented many years later. I can't tell you a single thing that happened in it.
No.
But you remember the genie really well.
Yeah. I remember the genie, and then I remember all the other movies he made after
I want
that.
to go back to the drive-in and eat more popcorn.
remember-
I want to go
I
with
remember Mrs.
Heidi and
Doubtfire,
watch her eat the
Jumanji,
popcorn and laugh.
Hook.
You ever see World's Greatest Dad?
No. Was that's super late era, right? Like 2008?
Greatest Dad. I hate it, but it's good. I hate it, but it's good.
One of those movies.
It's
Yeah,
one of those
he wasn't in
movies.
good
I
movies in
hate
the
it, but it's good.
The last time I saw Robin Williams in anything
Oh,
before he
nice.
died, he was on an episode of Louie, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but he had a genuinely sad look about him. You know, there was sadness in his eyes. I'm not saying I knew what was coming, but he seemed a little out on his luck when I saw him in Louie.
Yeah.
You know, when you sort of get the impression that a showrunner is throwing someone a bone, trying to make them look good because they love them.
Cheer him up.
Welcome to Los
That was a bit of the vibe I got from that Louis appearance.
Yeah.
Was he dying?
Yeah, I mean, I wish we had Mike on for the downward trajectory of Robin Williams. He did a bunch of bad movies.
Yeah.
Oh
Same
man.
thing happened to Jim Carrey. But Jim's kind of bounced back.
Like there's a few movies I hate but are good. It's like I'm glad I watched them, but wouldn't recommend them to anyone or
Robin
watch them
Williams
again.
Got paid $75,000 for Aladdin.
$75,000.
His usual asking fee was $8 million.
Ow.
He was so happy about Good Morning Vietnam.
They didn't pay him, and they didn't listen to the
Carrey
fucking
was in the new
agreement.
There's like a new Sonic movie. I saw the trailer for that.
Yeah.
Thought he was pretty funny.
Yeah, Oscar loves those movies.
Yeah.
And that's going to be how he knows Jim Carrey until
Yeah.
the mask is not too scary for him.
Oh my God. Mask is so good.
Like, I watched a little of the mask with him, and he was like, when does he go back to the part where he's Stanley?
Oh.
He didn't like the mask parts. he liked the parts where Stanley and Milo are together.
But like that seems like something
so
that's
cute.
Yeah.
That seems like that's something up Oscar's alley. The holding down A, the compass, shows me where I'm supposed to go in this game that I've actually been playing this whole time. Thinking of a game that you can actually be playing the whole time. Let me open up Cookie Clicker, show that off a little bit. Like put it like there. Alright, so now I can like buy some cursors that just like automatically click the cookie. You'd like this, right? But anyway, like the mask, when you put on the mask, you become the version of yourself you want to be. Or like you become like Loki, the guy who made the mask. But like you also become like sort of like the thing that you can't be when you're not wearing the mask. So in Jim Carrey's case, he's like a guy who's like not very sure of himself, and the mask is not like that. You know, when he's wearing the mask, he's not like that. He's the guy he dreams about. You know, the like cartoon wolf guy is like the guy he wants to be, like this invincible guy. Okay, so yeah, I'm buying some grandmas. Let me buy a few grandmas and cursors, and then get back to Knytt. And I'll just like click the cookie automatically while I'm not thinking about it. Yeah, we were planning on maybe doing some DOS games, but let's do that another time when Meredith's around. For now, I'm just doing some reruns and adding a little bit of additional commentary. There's really nothing that substantial. It's just a rerun of Thingus, but I'm there for it and pausing it and playing Cookie Clicker and Knytt and showing videos on my desktop for added context to things we were talking about. I'm also like, you know, able to go to just a different episode of Thingus and pull up a different conversation entirely. All right, how long is this supposed to go for? I guess it's not a real episode, so it's not on the same schedule. I'll go a little bit longer. All right, what were we talking about like 3 weeks ago?
These settings back so that it doesn't let you use a camera anymore.
No!
and then all the other stuff that I normally, you know, take care to make sure works. My children, as you say, not somebody else's goddamn child. All that stuff gets neglected until the stream actually starts. So look, we're here. Everyone's alive. No one's bleeding, right?
Come on, let's fucking go.
The kids are fine. Let's fucking go.
The kids are in bed. Let's fuck and make more.
Yes, that's a fuck and go. Like that's a let's fucking go that we can all get behind. Secretly fucking while the kids are in bed. I am a look, not to toot my own horn. I'm an absolute expert. You have no idea how good it's possible to get at doing that.
It's great that
Double Joes.
I'm friends with Meredith, so I could just like absorb some of her life through osmosis, so I'd have to live my own.
Oh man,
live
no.
vicariously.
Being an uncle, that rules, right? Like,
yeah, it does.
Like, if I mean, I feel like, you know,
I'm tired of clicking
if I didn't
cookie.
have a kid, but one of my siblings did and lived right in town with me, I wouldn't be like, man, I wish I had a kid. I'd be like, this is easy.
Well, okay, so I'm kind of both of those things. I look at you, I look at all the like 7 million other parents in this town, and I think, oh man, I wish I had a kid. But like, you know, when I'm over here, it's like, Dad, this shit's not easy. You know, what I'm looking at, you know,
No.
when I get to see them put up with every single day, it does not look easy.
Yeah, when you're looking at the back of
My
my
God.
head for every minute
Like-
until we sit down to this stream,
It's
I
like
feel
they're-
like you get the message. Shit's busy.
Yeah.
Like they're
But
always
there is
they're
an
always
intense
doing something,
satisfaction
and
in
he's
getting
always
everything
wasting
done.
their
When
time.
you lay down in bed at night, it's not because you fell asleep on the couch
But,
and then
you
woke
know, I
up
think
and
he
were
just
like,
wants their
"Oh, I should
attention,
get to
which,
bed,"
you
and
know-
dragged yourself in. It's because you got everything taken care of.
Like, nothing
The
can
house
replace
is
that.
Safe for all. Like, that's why I used to be, you know, I've talked about this a little on the show. I used to be positively terrified of being murdered in my own home. Really scared. And like, now, you know, it's
Then
still
she got
creeps in.
Heidi.
It's not completely gone. You know, I used to have, I used to use my barking dog for that. She doesn't bark anymore.
Yeah.
And for years, I've lived with
I
a
could just
man
climb, press up.
who I am confident. Anytime there's like a sound in the house, will go investigate without me asking him to.
A man who will
that helps a lot.
eat the he'll
but,
like
you know,
eat
when
the
he's traveling
can
and
of
it's just
spinach
work,
behind
and
the
I hear a
door
sound,
and
I
just go
start to
beat up the
turn
guy
into, like, a
robbing
prey
the
animal.
house.
I start to look like that side of a cat. I'm like, no, I can't do this because I'm in charge. I'm mom. Mom can't be this scared.
Yeah.
Like, I need to be the one to make sure the house is all clear. Like, if I don't think the house is all clear, I'm not doing my job. And in ways like that, and probably no other ways, in ways like that, it's good to be busy all the time. Because it takes care of all the stupid fucking anxieties that were draining me of my life.
Yeah.
And wasting my time before. Now I'm using that time. I'm cramming those minutes with things to do.
Maybe
And they're
don't
all
go
things that are
down.
useful. I'm not like, you know,
Sorry.
I'm not sitting there wringing
Let's
my
just dab.
fingers, wringing my hands over nothing.
Go back.
I'm washing a goddamn dish.
You're
cleaning
wringing
some
your
shit
hands over
somewhere.
a dish.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it seems like raising a human being is a real responsibility. It's not just it's not a chia pet.
Although I was thinking I'd like a chia pet.
Of your son.
Of my-
that, I mean, if his hair looked anything as beautiful as your real son, it'd be a great chia pet.
Oh my god, I bet you can order those, right? You can probably
Okay.
get like a chia head that
I have a
kind
lot
of
of-
looks like your kid.
I have a lot of
Like, you can
cookies.
choose
Let's
some
look,
basic
get a cookie
features.
farm.
You could 3D scan him.
They'll print him out in terracotta.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll make it real looking. It'll be freaky.
It'll just be creepy.
It'll be like a death mask. You won't want that in your house after a while.
No.
There's like-
as soon as the chia die.
I'm not sure if they still do them, but like, I remember there were these services that would like 3D scan you and give you like a little 3D print of you and your family or your dog or something. I remember seeing a service like, you know, nearby when I lived in Pittsburgh, and this bug gonna get me. And like they're kind of weird looking, but I guess, you know, I guess if you could suspend disbelief, they're kind of cute. Yeah, they're like little limestone, I guess, prints. See if I can find them. Like, print your family. 3D print your family. Yeah, like this. But yeah, like you just 3D print because like it can do like sculpted hair, but it can't do like hairs. So you just put some chia seeds on that. It's like the same material, right? It's like ceramic. Coincidentally, my Pittsburgh friends are big 3D printers and tinkerers. Well, that's true. I do remember there being like a bunch of 3D printing services out there. There was what was it called? Like the kind of place that you can like a maker space, the kind of place you can just like have a subscription for and like be like a little mad scientist there. They have like a machine that like it can cut through anything using water. It has like a jet of water that can cut through anything. Pretty cool. For cutting like steel or something like that. Pretend to check my watch. Well, the show's coming to an end. Let's see. Do I have any final thoughts? Well, I do have a whole list of topics that I never get to. Let's see. I'll just roll off a few thoughts that I've written down, I guess. For one thing, I'm glad I don't have to do the RFK voice for the next 4 years. Although I guess he hasn't gone away, so maybe I should start practicing. We're gonna make America great again. You gotta believe me. We're gonna make America great and healthy. I'm really healthy. I'm the guy. I swear I'm the guy. I'm the guy for the job. Don't worry, he probably won't kill us all. He's the guy for the job. Yeah, that is terrible to do that voice. But yeah, we don't know. Maybe he'll disappear. See, viral turd marketing TikTok. Yeah, I saw a TikTok that was like a product that they were advertising. It was like a bath mat that like turned different colors with water. And there was like a gigantic shit in the toilet in this bathroom in this commercial. And it's like, I feel like we've seen plenty of times where there's a shit in the background of a selfie, but like this was blatant. It was only on screen for like a second, but they knew that was there. They knew that turd was there. This is turd marketing. All right. I mean, that's really all I have to say about that. Is Daisy white? This is a conversation that might need Meredith because, you know, Princess Daisy is sometimes interpreted as having darker skin. Like Princess Peach is blonde and very fair. So Princess Daisy is brunette, and some people draw her as like more tan or even black compared to Peach. I just wonder, maybe it doesn't matter too much, but I just wonder what is her race? What is her ethnicity? What is the answer? I don't know if people can believe whatever they want. I don't think that it is democratic. I don't think that enough people thinking Hermione was black is gonna make her black because Emma Watson is Hermione. Like, she's still Hermione. Like Harry is still Harry. Ron is still Ron. Even fuck. Crap. The actor that plays Snape. Fucking Snape. Even he's just Snape. Like, he's had a great career, but I can't even remember his name. Emily Watson is what people think her name is. That's not her name. Alan Rickman. Of course, Alan Rickman. And there it is. Thank you, Tim Ballisto. I thought of it like 1 second before he told me. But yeah, like, that's just like what a giant role does to a career. Is it turns you into that character for the rest of your life. Look at Jason Alexander, or as most people know him, George. I should have George on my soundboard, like George saying I was in the pool or something like that. What's even better than that though? I'm sure there's something. There's a few things on my soundboard I can get rid of. There is this music that gets me muted, so I really don't want to click that button right now. But I guess I can hold down this. That makes everything sound like muffled. No, you can still hear it pretty well. But yeah. You're gonna have Jason on the stream. Maybe he's on Fiverr. Who's Jason? Sorry, I don't know what we were talking about. Oh, Jason Alexander. It was like, who the fuck is Jason? Who are we talking about?
We gotta get rid of that shit. But for a few days, it might be fun to watch the chia seeds grow on my son's likeness.
On Jason Alexander's head.
Say it's Chichimia.
That's what he should do now.
I love
because
that chia pets.
It's really
literally just those seeds that I eat in my breakfast now.
Yeah, those things are good. But like they have to soak a little bit and then they like soften up. But yeah, like that's something that Jason Alexander should do with his career now. He should sell chia pets of George from Seinfeld. And it's like it's fixing a frustration that we all have with him, that he's so bald that just to like be able to grow hair on him yourself is like you've taken him in and you've fixed him. He needs something to give him confidence. Although, would getting hair actually help him? All right, let's spend our cookies on grandmas. He should try planting chia seeds on his bald head. I mean, he could try that too, but I think like just marketing himself as George is probably a better plan than trying to be an actor. Well, like me and Meredith were talking about this a little bit, that like he has like a background in like theatrics. So like he's a bit more than just a sitcom actor. I was talking about how he was in this commercial. It's like yeah, Jake Paul is gonna fight Mike Tyson. That's the news for this week. In 2 days, Jake Paul is going against a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. This is Jason Alexander in the 80s.
You say that just once you'd like your hamburger hot and your lettuce and tomato cool and crisp all at the same time? Yeah! Well, I say you got it. I'm talking McDonald's new lettuce and tomato hamburger, the McDLT. I'm talking
like, look how much effort is in this. And look how much hair he still has. Look at what he's capable of. Would you really think that from seeing George? I mean, I guess when he has outbursts, you realize he is a person, and and an actor full of energy. In the same way that like Kramer and Elaine are full of energy, but like this is another level. You would never see George do this. I guess that would just break the illusion of his character, but like, we're still under the illusion of his character. We still think he's George. All right, I feel like the phenomenon of the month or the week or whatever, the phenomenon of the week is web fishing. Keep seeing it everywhere, and I'm wondering if I should bite. Does anybody know anything about web fishing? Can anybody tell me web fishing is a game for me? Because it'd be nice to make friends in a game, but social games I've played are mostly about like meeting up with the people that you're already in a clique with, and just like never talking to anyone new. He's in the Rodgers and Hammerstein, Cinderella and Brandy Whitney. Excuse me. Yeah, so like we think of him as George, but he's really more like this. This is the, I mean, this is a slightly younger Jason Alexander. This was like 10 years before Seinfeld was at its like peak. And he's singing and dancing. And then like, okay, but like so let's connect this all together with the whole genie thing. Jason Alexander was in The Hunchback of Notre Dame as a not forgettable character, a very frustratingly annoying character who was constantly like pushing his way into the screen and saying unremarkable lines that Lindsay Ellis would then go on to make fun of forever. Unremarkable or remarkably bad. So like, why is it that if he actually has kind of like this pretty much the same screen presence as Robin Williams did, how come he didn't star in a Disney movie doing this kind of thing? Why did they see him more as a George? Did he get hired for more George things? I mean, I guess he probably did lose confidence with the hair. I can attest to such things. It's a little bit gone, as you might have known, in moments when I can't stop myself from laughing and keel over like that. but you know, like his hair situation is like full. So like, you know, couple that with being the like short guy and like the nerd on Seinfeld. and it's like all of them, it's difficult to get away from that role. So I guess they didn't want his role as a gargoyle to be such a big role or stand out very much, like as you know, anything good.
Yeah, those are tasty.
Yeah,
they get all slimy and weird, and then they're hard to
Hunchback
eat.
isn't
They
really a
slip
kid's story
out
as
of
a
your
problem. It's like trying to make the Phantom of the Opera for children. So I've been reading Miyazaki's book, and I've been thinking about how back when I was a kid, or you know, when I was like I was pretty interested in doing film, so I was like, you know, a late teen, maybe 16, 17. I remember an interview with Brad Bird saying that we don't make films for kids. We make them for ourselves. And, you know, I always liked that. I thought that like that means that they don't dumb it down for kids. They don't make it like juvenile. They don't make it immature. They just make it as sincerely as they can. But Miyazaki says, I make films for kids. I make them primarily for kids. And I think Pixar also, to a very large extent, does that as well. Primarily for kids. Like, they are there to inspire wonder in children who aren't used to seeing through the lies that these films are telling. They have like he talked about his own experience loving a film, becoming so in love with a film and wanting to know everything about it and having it inspire him as a child to get into animation in the first place, and then becoming sick of it over time, and then like deciding that it's like it's got problems. There's so many problems. I would do this differently. And it's like he learns to like hate it, kind of. And it's like he was talking about Tezuka, like he was trying to distance himself from Tezuka. But like, yeah, I think that's something he also captures a lot in his work is children's innocence. Like the little girl, what's her name from Totoro? She's the one who discovers the little critters, and it's like, you know, she's the only one here who believes in critters. So, the hunchback curls up and dies next to her corpse. I know the hunchback curls up and dies next to her corpse. This is what Danielle was always saying. Well, like Danielle read a lot of books. I'm terrible at reading. I listen to audiobooks. So I lie when I say I read a book. I really listen to it. And the audiobook I have of Starting Point by Miyazaki is read by someone who did not do proper audio checks. And I'm very grateful for his reading of it. But sometimes there's like little bangs, like like I think the world is ending. Like I actually thought something like a cable snapped and something was gonna fall on me. Spoilers, but also 200-year-old book. I mean, they're not gonna do that in the Disney version. There's no him curling up and dying next to her corpse in the Disney version. But like, I think, you know, if you're making what he was saying that is that like you can't fix the problems of the adult world with animated films. just foolish to think in those terms. And that, like, I guess maybe it's just like you make stuff for children but you don't dumb it down. Like like I was like in my 20s when I read the Unfortunate Events books. Those are great. They explain what words mean, and like that's something that's just like courteous for children that don't know words. I'm more mad that Phoebus isn't a fuckboy. Is he? Wait, what is he supposed to be, a fuckboy? Like, don't make the handsome guy the hero. That's Hugo's point, that pretty people can suck. Wait. You gotta slow down. How is he different in the movie from the book? Because I've never read that book. Danielle had this book. It was like this big. Like, she was saying, like, most of the book is just like describing the cathedral. Don't make the handsome guy the hero. So I guess he isn't supposed to be handsome? He's supposed to be ugly? Like Quasimodo? Or is he supposed to be handsome and a villain? I don't know what you're saying. The book, Phoebus is a fuckboy who gets Esmeralda pregnant. Okay. I see what you mean.
Oh yeah, no, they're terrible for a lot of reasons.
They get stuck everywhere.
Yeah, Chia is
every hole.
Oh yeah, no, Chia is a problem in many ways, right? Like, we suddenly started eating Chia instead of putting it on
maybe if you use a
Chia
blender,
and suddenly there's all
blends
kinds
them a
of
little,
problems.
right?
Yeah. You really have to watch how much of it
No,
you eat,
you still
as
get
said.
it doesn't matter because like they'll sort of dissolve a little bit in the moisture, but then they like still get stuck in your teeth if they split into a bunch of pieces that get stuck in your teeth. He's handsome, superficial, and unreliable. It's not like ugly people can be nice. So like the handsy boy is bad. Gotcha. Well, yeah, that's stupid. Disney was aching for another movie at that point. And when you make a movie that's good, like The Lion King, and a very successful movie, so like you can say that's like it peaked. That means that you're going to make worse movies directly after that, no matter what, right? I guess that's not strictly assured, but like they made The Lion King and then they released Toy Story, which is not the same thing exactly, but they were on the right track for both of those years. And then 95 Toy Story, 94 was Lion King, then 95 was Pocahontas, 96 was on or something. No, that was later. Pocahontas, and I already forgot what we were talking about. 96 was Hunchback, right? Or was that 97? 97 was Hercules. I remember the other ones, so I can fill in the blanks. Okay, so yeah, the Hunchback of Notre Dame was the topic. I mean, yeah, you should never try to make that a kid's movie. That's it's just a bad idea from the beginning. I mean, I guess they maybe thought about how The Lion King is a adaptation of a tragedy as well, and it worked pretty well as a Disney movie. So why wouldn't this? It's like, first of all, the main character looks like that. That's you know, who you have on the fucking posters. Instead of Simba the cute lion, you have Quasimodo the horrible French guy. It's like, even Pocahontas is like stale bread compared to the Lion King. And then you see Quasimodo and you're like, go back. The songs are pretty good, but the plot is bad. Yeah, you're right. The songs are actually pretty memorable. That feels like something that might have been better suited to like one of those Disney plays. Although I guess like they would feel compelled to make it the darker, more original version of the story, and thus hurting the Disney's family-friendly brand. Bland. I mean, I don't know. I guess that could work, but it would have to be done in abstract terms. It would have to show like everyone living at the end. God Help the Outcast is a beautiful song. Yeah, I mean there are some great moments in that movie. There's good animation. There's the backgrounds are great. Like it's a great world that they build. Lou doesn't care about that her texture mapping shows obvious seams. Okay, yeah, like this cat that Meredith has is like the cutest cat ever. It's like doesn't care at all that I can see your seam, like her texture maps, like on a 3D model. She has them on her fur patterns, and it's like I can see the obvious part where they just like gave up. Like, is there a part where I play banjo? Because I feel like you can see that in N64 games really well. Whole Rugrats episode.
So if you butt stomp them, they die, but if you just jump on them, they get knocked out.
Okay.
No.
Because his inventions scare his son.
Right, they're toys that children don't want to play with.
Yeah, toys that make children run screaming.
He doesn't understand a goddamn thing about kids. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, because he hasn't grown up. He's still playing with toys.
Yeah, we'll get to the episode where Stu turns into a baby in a second.
Yeah, and then that episode makes it literal.
But yeah,
This is like Mega Man.
No! Yeah, this is hard.
It's like fair Mega Man.
That's the bird from the episode where he's like he's like abducted.
Oh, by the Grey Gardens people, yes.
Yeah, and he thinks the bird's name is Tommy.
But just like the spotlight
This game is
shines on
so
Dee Dee where she wins.
This
Wins a
game is
prize
so
that no one
classy.
else
I love
wins.
this classy
And
little
Tommy
game.
says she did it. She found her place in the sun. And he climbs up on stage and she picks him up and they're on stage together. It's just the sweetest thing. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, like
Experiencing these episodes again as a parent
Tommy
must
and
be
Chucky is
a
like,
thing.
You did the right thing, Chucky. And they like return the sea monkeys to the ocean. It's like, you did the right thing, Chucky.
Let me see if I can find the clip of that. That is definitely funnier, like in the actual show. Monkeys, Rugrats. Monkeys will never forget you for it. Kind of quiet. Somebody's laughing in the background. Like, nobody sees this. They're not paying attention. Fucking adults.
and the sea monkeys will never forget you for it. It is the sweetest and also funniest thing ever.
Oh fuck, that's so funny. Yeah, there's just playing like this touching music that they dump the sea monkeys into the roaring ocean.
There is a South Park episode that used a very similar joke as the conclusion, except they turn it on its head, where you actually see that they like spend the whole episode trying to get a whale to the moon and then succeed, and then you see the whale dead on the moon. But like it has the same scene at the end where it's like, we did it, we did the right thing, we're, you know, blah blah blah, such and such, they'll never forget us for it. But you know, Rugrats lets you think that maybe the sea monkeys actually might survive out there. They belong in the sea, Chucky. Anyway, we usually wrap up the show in 2 hours, but since I'm on my own schedule, since I perceive time differently from Meredith, I usually do 3 hours of a stream. So, also this is filler content, so I feel like the more the better. Let's see what else do I want to talk about before we're done? A few more minutes and then we'll be done. Oh, here's something I need to do with Meredith. I want to ask her how many views does it have, and then name a video and find out what she thinks everything has. Cause like, I feel like when I remember, I don't know if it was Meredith, but somebody, I was like, how many views does Dog of Wisdom have? They were like 5 million. It's like, it's more. Like, it's a lot more than 5 million. 5 million is a lot for a video to have, but like, my video has a lot of tens of millions. And I want her to guess how many millions of views some of these other famous videos are. These are really old on this list. $10 million non-existent crowdfunded MMO. I feel like I'll have to talk to Meredith about that one, but maybe I can talk about a little bit about it now. Like, I feel like it used to be like, you ask somebody like, did you hear about that? What did I just write down? Did you hear about that $10+ million non-existent crowdfunded MMO? And they'd be like, yeah. But now you say that, and they're like, which one? There's like multiple ones of that. The games that don't exist. The games that just exist as a concept. Wasn't that something Miyamoto was saying? I was watching oh right, no, it was something Miyazaki was saying. I was watching a lot of interviews with Miyamoto and reading interviews with Miyazaki. And it was Miyazaki who said that once you start like coming up with like all the things about a film, then it like exists. Something like that. Like, it already exists, like, in people's minds. It already exists. You've already come up with, like, the main structure of a film. And, like, I wonder if games are the same idea. Like, you know, if you came up with cookie clicker, it could just be the cookie and the clicker and this other stuff. But all this other stuff is like part of the exploration and journey of making it into like an actual game. But yeah, like Miyazaki's interviews are interesting. He's always talked about how everything sucks now. And these interviews are from like the 80s and like the late 70s, early 80s. It's like talking about how anime has already reached its peak and gone over the hill. Like talking about how Nintendo, like, you know, in the mid 80s or late 80s, talking about how Nintendo just like it completely replaced anime. Anyway, I've got a bunch of games going over here.
Like
in
time or
instantly dying.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because they were doomed anyway.
His focus is elsewhere. Will never notice the time or times that I or some of the other neighbor kids go missing.
No. Oh my god, it's so fucking funny. So there's an episode where Stu gets conked on the head and he returns to his childhood as a baby.
That's why I named myself Stewie.
Stewie, yeah.
Hey, Stewie, who are you? And he talks to them for the first time.
Yeah, and like, yeah, he talks to the babies, which is awesome. Like he speaks in Tommy and Chucky's language, and he thinks he's a baby. And at first, like for the first part of the episode, Tommy's so happy because now his daddy's gonna play with him, and then Tommy breaks a toy, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. My daddy will fix." And he just like goes silent, realizing he'll never have his daddy again if Stewie is a baby.
Yeah.
And he starts crying and he starts thinking about all the things his daddy does for him. And then Stewie is upset that Tommy's upset and he starts crying too.
So I guess ultimately,
Stewie says, "I don't know how to be an adult, but I'll try, Tommy."
I guess ultimately Stu does remember how to be an adult. Sometimes Stu gets like caught up on a problem and then like the solution was like, well, like in this particular episode, it was like he was making a weather vane, and the weather vane is like really high tech, shaped like a duck, and like it caused him to fall off the roof and lose his memory and think he's a baby. I think all signs point to this weather vane being a piece of techno crap and having no purpose that is like beyond an ordinary weather vane's purpose. And like, you know, they make a joke that it doesn't even tell you which way the wind is blowing. So I think, you know, like a lot of the time the reality that Stu Pickles needs to confront is that his inventions are superfluous. He doesn't need them. Like, he I guess he is capable of making toys that delight children, like his bubble machine, which he was like really like he was like trying to work on his bubble machine while he was working at another job. Because the bubble machine was, you know, both causing him stress, forcing him to get a real job, but also it was his passion, which he ultimately creates a version of it that's like really good. You know, a version of it that Tommy likes, which means it's good. Because Tommy doesn't like his toys, but he does like that he can fix his toys when they break. So he's good for something. But like, he needs to take, you know, he doesn't know how to be an adult still. But I think he needs to take the easier path because he is trying too hard. Like his Mr. Friend was a disaster, and he put so much of his like his heart was completely on the line when it came to that toy. It was his most robust toy yet, and to tell him that it was a complete failure was out of the question. So instead, the babies ran in terror from this toy. Stu didn't have to try he doesn't have to try very hard. He tries too hard. He doesn't have to do most of the work he does. Which is both a, you know, tragedy and also like, you know, maybe a good thing to keep in mind, that you don't need to try so hard when you know, when I make videos, I'm sometimes like this. I make videos that no one really likes, probably.
Yeah.
And then Tommy starts to try and teach Stewie how to be an adult. And one of the things he does, which I laugh at constantly, is like
nah. Meredith explains the plot.
And don't come out till practically forever.
Nah.
Yeah, that episode.
Hey,
yeah,
cool.
That scene is really funny because it shows like what babies think adults are doing all the time.
Yeah.
You just like take this phone and you talk to no one. You just talk to yourself.
Yes. Right. They don't fucking get any of it. Well, yeah, even just like Angelica being like, we're gonna be business lady now. I'm gonna be on my phone all day. I'm gonna be talking to my subordinates all day. Like, Angelica doesn't know what the fuck her mom does for a second of her day.
No, but she gets it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to because
You're
when she
dumb
grows up,
babies!
she's just like that.
Absolutely.
Not the jury, the jerky!
And emulates them without understanding
Well, yeah,
them.
her mother.
That's hilarious whenever that is a thing.
I've been addicted to videos of cats who were raised by dogs and think they're dogs.
Oh man,
so cute! Like
Oh.
little kitty standing like a pit bull and barking because he thinks he's a pit bull.
Like, I feel like this video is a bit misleading because I can't tell if it's even like the same cat or if it's like two different cats. But like, there's this cat that thinks it's a dog and is standing just like a pit bull. It's cute. Have it somewhere. God, this Jason Alexander video is still open. The cat. The cat that thinks it's a dog. Well, maybe he doesn't think he's a dog. He's just how he's. This is just how he knows to be. Look at this real cat. Like, this isn't photoshopped. This is real. No, I don't know if it's misleading either. I think it's just unbelievable. Cute! Like, that cat is barking. No, stop playing other videos. The time has come to talk of other things. God. Barking. Yapping. So cute. He even stands like the dog. Oh, wow. Look at that. I have 1 million cookies. Oh, I wasn't even thinking about him.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's Angelica acting like a businesswoman.
My God. Angelica is a fucking nightmare, but you'd also love having her as your daughter.
Oh my
like,
God.
That would be so cool.
Oh my God.
To have a little you bossing little babies around.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah,
Little
mom doesn't think there's anything wrong with her daughter.
No one sees it. No one sees the bullying. That dad is not paying.
No one sees it. No one sees Gaster.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah, and anything.
No one but
because
me.
He's just constantly thinking about like competing with his brother and conspicuous consumption. Like the entire world is his brother that he's competing with.
That's true. He hates his brother. Have I just been playing the same level over?
Yeah, like, what does he even do? Drew Pickles, you know, like, I feel like, you know, when it comes to like memes and shit, like Stu Pickles was a meme that was like making chocolate pudding. Like that was like a really big meme, I guess, a few years ago. But like Drew Pickles is also a meme. It's like a text to speech. It's like, I am Drew Pickles and I am really gay. This is shit from Newgrounds from like 2006. But like that doesn't ever leave your mind once it enters. It's like, you know, I think Angelica deep down kind of hates him. You know, like maybe that's the tragedy of Drew, that like his wife doesn't care about him. His daughter uses him, you know, constantly pushes his buttons. And his brother is always in competition with him. Meanwhile, he doesn't really have... Look at how many cookies I'm getting every second. It's like, I have like an army of grandmas, and the entire thing is surrounded by clickers now. And that there's also like cookie farms and mines that they're mining the cookies. But yeah, like those Rugrats episodes from like season 1 to like I don't remember, maybe seasons 1, 2, and 3 are, you know, they're so rewatchable. I think rewatch them as an adult, and if I become a parent one day, I plan to watch the shit out of them. Because I feel like it's going to again resonate. I feel like it's going to resonate a third time, maybe even a fourth time if I have grandchildren. But like, it's just like all this shit with the parents that people make posts about on Facebook is like, what was up with the parents? Like, the writers had really considered all of this. They had jokes about all of it. Like, you know, maybe Drew's getting cucked or something. Maybe he is gay. Maybe that's something they even thought about.
No. Oh yeah, do that one with Angelica's nightmare baby brother. I haven't gotten much further than this, but I'm assuming that eventually you fight Angelotron, right?
They kind of make this look a little bit Japanese, like the way I did that, like victory sign. That even that like expression makes it kind of look like Capcom made this game.
Yeah, I forget you can crawl. That's something babies do best.
Yes.
I never did find out like what the fuck was the story behind this game, because I really like it. Like, how did they make this? who let them make this? Was it made by accident? Did they pull it from another universe? Was it like something that they made from like materials for an actual Rugrats game from back then?
Bill's like missing teeth are really funny.
Oh man, I know. Everything about
Oh my god, Classic Chupo style was so grungy. It's great.
Sociopathic, right? Like they don't feel any remorse for anything. They don't know how.
They're like in tune with each other. I feel like they're always gonna be in cahoots with each other.
Yes.
That's just what it means
All
to
right.
be a twin, right?
Let's finish this up in a few minutes. Hey, last words.
Get to have their own life.
And even if they're worst enemies, they're still more friends with each other than you.
Yes, absolutely. I think there's one episode where Phil and Lil are having a fight.
Yeah, I love that one.
I kind of forget what happened.
If you were a twin, you wouldn't forget.
No.
Oh,
No.
here's a topic that, you know,
It's like Angelica
actually,
tricks them into
fuck it.
thinking that every family has
We're gonna talk about AI, but I don't want to end it with that. It just depresses people.
Tommy doesn't have to worry.
That's gotta be the best episode of that show.
Oh,
That's
man,
so
the
good.
favorite
and reject. Horrifying. Scary. It's like they have these fantasies about what their parents treating them different.
Yes.
I love it when you can see the artist's hand in animation. Classic Chupa is that.
Who's the reject?
Yeah,
I mean,
like, you know, something I didn't watch as a kid, but was going on was Duckman, and I guess he's based off of pre-existing design, but like, or like he's based off a different artist's design, but it still has like a very Classic Chupo-ness to it, and like the animation, like just like this character at all is like most 90s fucking thing I've ever seen. I'll leave it on this note of Jason Alexander having his moment, because I did believe that he deserved a real animation role, and they actually did give him this. So I'll consider this will negate the terrible Hunchback of Notre Dame voice he did, because he is as talented as Robin Williams, if maybe a little bit smaller in scale. And this rant is funny.
License plates with MD on them. You can park almost anywhere.
And when you think about it, isn't that exactly the point? Parking. And driving, and shopping, and eating, and working. Somewhere, somehow, they all got chewed up and spit back out. They don't taste like living anymore. Don't you see what it's like in this deranged, wearing blender of a world? Every day is an agonizing ordeal. Like balancing a pot of scalding water on your head while people whip your legs and butt. You never forget your senior prom. You think I'm sick? Well, the only disease I've got is modern life. A schnut-busting gauntlet of inefficiency and misery that's one long parade of letdowns, put-downs, trickle-downs, shutouts, freeze-outs, sellouts, numbnuts, nick-and-puts, and nimrods. All making every day as much fun as waxing a flaming Pontiac with your tongue. Or even if you do luck into the possibility of some fleeting pleasure, like, say, if some nymphomaniac telephone operators with the muscle control of Romanian mat slappers agree to a little strip air hockey, it'll be over before it starts. Because some vowel-lacking, feta-reeking cab jockey slams his checker up your hatchback, and the cab is owned by some pinata spanker from a Santeria cult in Wakalpa who starts shaking chicken bones at you and gives you a boil on your neck so big, all it needs is Michael Jordan's autograph to make it complete. And even with all this, I still drag my sorry butt off the ceiling every morning and stick my face in the reaping machine for one more day, knowing when it's time to flash the cosmic card key at those pearly gates, I won't be in the coffin anyway, because some underhanded undertaker sold my heart, pancreas, and other assorted good and plenty to that same Santeria cult. So does anybody really wonder why anybody is hanging on to sanity by the atoms on the tips of their fingernails while life dirty dances on their digits? And is it really any wonder that I seem deranged? But that's probably nothing you haven't heard 100 times before.
Great performance. Yeah, that's something that sets him apart from his other work, I think. you know, maybe he's a little bit of a Georgie type character, but you know, he doesn't remind you so much of George that that's all you can think of. Like, also, you know, being a cartoon, you don't see him. Some fleeting pleasure, like, say if some nymphomaniac telephone operator agreed to a little strip air hockey, it'll be over before it starts. Cause some foul-acting Federican cab jockey rams his checker up your hatchback and then from Giannis spanking from a Copel starts shaking chicken bones at you and gives you a boil on your neck so big all that's missing is Michael Jordan's autograph to make it complete. And then with all this, I still drag my sorry carcass off of the ceiling every morning, so I know that when I flash the cosmic card keys of those pearly gates, I won't be in a coffin anyway, because some underhanded undertaker stole my heart, pancreas, and other good and put each of the same Santeria cult. I get a hat sanity by the atoms of the. Oh my god. I thought I had that memorized. But almost. Good enough.
That's probably nothing you haven't heard 100 times before.
It's, you know, it's like, I've never seen this show, but I've seen this clip like a bunch of times, and I think this was before Hunchback, right? I don't know, but like, you know, it doesn't matter because it still negates anything that was bad about that. And it in fact makes me think that Jason Alexander might even have a future as a voice actor, because why even go away in voice acting? Like, unless that's too, the amount of voice acting he did just now could be, I suppose, could be damaging to your vocal cords, could take a lot out of you, and you could want to quit that. But I don't know. I suppose also just being older, it's not as easy to give performances like that. On the other hand, Larry David was like already old when he started being Larry. And has getting older even changed him? Like, has he even changed at all? How come Larry had George play himself, and then he played himself? I guess he wanted to play himself from the past. He wanted to play himself before he had Seinfeld. He wanted to play himself after he did Seinfeld, and he wanted George to play him before he made Seinfeld, or I guess while. But like, is he making George based on himself being like the guy who is unsuccessfully selling the show that they're making right now? I don't know. That might not be the most important thing about Seinfeld. What it's about is not the most important thing. But yeah, like they said that like the whole show about nothing thing came later. It was originally supposed to be a show about where a comedian gets his material. Like that was the gimmick. That's like, he, like, you know, I'm sure they wouldn't have Jerry see something and then look at the camera. But that was the idea, that it's like he sees something funny. I mean, that was the idea with Mind of Mencia. He sees something and looks at the camera. Duckman came out before the Hunchback, but ended thereafter. Okay. Duckman seems like a proto Bojack. I mean, yeah, I feel like it does sort of follow the trend, or I suppose the lineage of angry, depressed, anthropomorphic animal man. Is there one that you can think of before Duckman that sounds like that? Maybe Howard the Duck? He's like a cartoon that lives in kind of like a grimy reality. Do I have that right? He's definitely got an attitude kind of like that, doesn't he? Anticipated the trend. Well, what about since BoJack Horseman? Have we seen a show that does something kind of like that? It's like a cartoon man who's like down on his luck or something. Do we have something like that now? And I suppose Roger Rabbit was in there somewhere. That's definitely part of the lineage of like BoJack, because there's like humans and like animal people living amongst each other in Hollywood. It's like I guess they're not just animals, but also anthropomorphic animal people, which are like, pink, like, like Princess Carolyn is a pink cat. She could have come from the Toontown side. Maybe the implication was not that she was a cat, an animal, but that she was a toon, and that BoJack is a toon. I guess that's not what it's saying, but in my mind, if I replace it with that, it seems the same. It seems the same as how Roger Rabbit is kind of treated. Well, it's almost the same idea. I guess like BoJack is a show about a guy who's actually a horse when the camera is off. But yeah, there was a video making fun of the AVGN that was like the BoJack opening, and I didn't really understand it when I saw it, but I made my version of the BoJack opening because I saw that parody. But I'm not going to show it right now because this stream has to end at some point. So thanks for watching. Been a rerun of Thingus, a re-Thingus, a Thingus from the past. And I didn't watch the entire thing through. I mostly just talked over it. I didn't get very far in my game. But hey, I got 4.5 million cookies. How many cookies do you have? Let's see. Any final thoughts? I just said them. All right. Bye.